You can dislike everyone involved in this. You can even hate everyone involved in this. But the fact that you've got Demonmama coming out. Chud wants me to ask if you got your bottom surgery yet or you're not planning to. Demonmama cuts the segment short because she starts talking about the DIY HRT drama. Then Staroxphia joins chat spamming stop, don't talk about this. Oh! Yo! So Staroxphia is in chat saying, do not talk about the DIY HRT stuff. I do not consent to this info being said. For those of you that don't know, that have been following, I'm sure you have. I'm sure you know already. But basically, Keffals has been destroyed in the marketplace of ideas. Now, basically, Mutahar released a video. Some Ordinary Gamers released a video about Keffals. The video I thought was really well done, really well put together. Laid everything out in a clear, coherent way. And, yeah. I feel like it's having a kind of small impact. I don't want to overstate it. But I think the TYT retraction is good. I think the Wikipedia page being updated is a step forward. Whether or not anything else will happen, I don't know. I saw that Card Posting had responded to my video about him. And like, I feel like there's this thing that's happening where people are like, oh, it's a nothing burger. Unless Keffals gets like investigated by the Canadian federal authorities. And I'm just like, isn't that not quite a high standard to set for like how jaded do you have to be that the only thing that is going to possibly, you know, allow you to think that maybe something is happening is if the federal authorities begin investigating the person that the video's about. Like, when has that ever fucking happened, you know? You know, I think, yeah, there's this tendency amongst some kind of lefties. Yeah, I covered the Anna stuff already. But there's a tendency amongst lefties, I think, to kind of really diminish the video and undermine it by being like, oh, it's nothing, you know, nothing's going to happen anyway. And it's like, okay, well, I'd maybe consider that from you if you've actually covered it before. But yeah. Well, no, Khan isn't just saying nothing ever happens. You know, if someone is saying nothing ever happens, I don't mind. That's fine. I'm kind of somewhat skeptical as well. But it's the fact that these lefties will not cover Keffals, not talk about Keffals, not talk about any of the misdeeds that they've done. And then when a video comes out exposing it all, they go, oh, well, it's nothing anyway, you know? It's not really, nothing's going to happen anyway. It's like, well, you've not even spoken about it. You've not even got to it. You've not even discussed it. You've not even covered it, you know? But the second someone exposes it, you're immediately sweeping. It's like a downplaying of Keffals' actions, you know? Or acting like, you know, a small step isn't a small step. It's like nothing at all. But yeah. Yeah, no, there is. Of course there is. I can't remember the video exactly, but yeah. I think that it's... I've got no expectations beyond, you know, at most maybe a few people walk back their comments, a few people change their mind, something like that. That's the kind of what I'm expecting, you know? But yeah. Oh, hey, Card Post. Hey, look who it is. It's Card Posting. Is that actually Card Poster, though? Because there's some troll accounts knocking about. So we need to be careful. But yeah, I just think that, you know, the Wikipedia thing changing, TYT walking back their position, and there's also another ally as well that's also dropped off as well, which we're going to get to. But yeah, I just think that there's a few things that are happening. Whether or not it goes further than that, I'm not sure. I think that the Wikipedia changing is good. I think TYT walking back the coverage is good. I think the fact that Demonmama, or the Demonmama's kind of a nobody really, but Demonmama, I think, might put some pressure to maybe, you know, make some more people turn. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that I've been careful not to oversell it, right? Like, I don't think it's, you know, like, Keffals will still have some community. Keffals will still have some sort of community. They'll still have some sort of viewership. I don't think they're going to get destroyed completely, like, off the face of the earth. But it's quite rare that someone is completely and utterly eviscerated and destroyed, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I think that there's little steps here, little steps here, little steps there. We'll see what happens. Demonmama is part of the trans community, though, so they can't pull the transphobe card on her. Well, yeah, Demonmama turning is maybe inter-community is important. Like, I think we can look at it and we can think, oh, well, Demonmama's a Humegalo. And that's true. And that is true. But that is still like inter-community issues that are then getting caused. And it's going to lead people to kind of feel a bit torn because they're like, well, you know, I've liked Keffals. I like Demonmama. But now Demonmama is being critical of Keffals, someone who's always been supportive. And there's no possible way that you can call them a, you know, a bigot, a transphobe, or anything like that. You know, they're you know, Demonmama's like a trans advocate, like lefty, soy, woke person, you know? That's not true. You guys are coping. The trans people do. Lefty trans, some lefty trans people do. We'll chuck the Demonmama stuff in now. We'll chuck it in now. Okay, so what did Demonmama have to say? I've not watched Demonmama for ages. This is crazy. Let's have a look.
I was going to say one of the things that happened, or one of the people that Keffals conflicted with, is a fairly large bread tuber video essayist by the name of Jack Saint. Many of you will be familiar with Jack Saint. Keffals and Jack Saint had a fairly public conflict.
Let's just say, I am very familiar. Jack Saint does not like Keffals. Yo, Jack Saint, eh? Jack Saint is not a fan of Keffals.
That started a pattern of Keffals leaking people's DMs. In fact, she got a fairly bad reputation, even among people who were, sort of on her side generally, for being a DM leaker. But this really, really, really went over the line for me.
Again, you know, even if you don't like Jack Saint, it doesn't, like, you guys are okay, you've got to look at it from the perspective of that community, okay? Like, you can dislike everyone involved in this. You can even hate everyone involved in this. But the fact that you've got Demonmama coming out and saying Jack Saint had this beef. Jack Saint is, like, quite a popular guy amongst the lefties. So, you know, it doesn't really matter what you personally think about it. This is a kind of, like, disruption and an issue within the community, you know? Does she provide any receipts for the claims? Demonmama doesn't exactly have the greatest reputation when it comes to telling the truth. I know that Jack Saint and Keffals had a beef, and I know that Jack Saint was unhappy with Keffals, and, you know, from then on has had quite a negative perspective on Keffals. But, I mean, other than that, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily take it as read. But just having these conversations happening and having these discussions occurring is, you know, again, it's a small step forward. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's not as if this means Keffals is completely destroyed. It's just something. It's just something, you know? It's just something, that's all. It's just a little something.
And I think you'll understand why when I read it. When I was an editor for Keffals, she told me she secretly recorded a call with Jack Saint and that she wanted me to deceptively edit the call to make it sound like he was being abusive towards her. This isn't an isolated incident at all. Obviously, a ton has come out illustrating her pattern of knowingly smearing people, and this is just one of many situations where she would float the idea of lying so maliciously like that. This is also why many people who have been close to her are now afraid of her.
Damn. So yeah, obviously some pretty big claims being made there without evidence, first of all. So we don't have any evidence of this happening. However, what I would point you to is there was a time when Keffals had a debate with someone called Karl Max, and the debate was about whether or not the term they fab is like offensive or transphobic or something like that, right? And I actually, you know, disagree with Karl Max's side. Karl Max is kind of quite a, you know, progressive guy. So I think Karl Max's perspective was, oh yeah, this is transphobic, and Keffals had the opposite position. But the thing is, again, putting that to one side, it doesn't really matter what my personal view on who was right and who was wrong is, because after that happened, Keffals, in messages that were leaked, was being very like manipulative and essentially talked about editing the debate in a way that favored themselves and made them look better in the debate. And they talked about having like something in the front to poison the well. I don't have it to hand because I just thought of it then. But the point I'm making is, yeah, this is not exactly unknown that Keffals would want to deceptively edit things to favor themselves, you know? So yeah, I don't know. Take from what you will. It's obviously not a proven claim, but I can definitely imagine Keffals being this kind of malicious to do this sort of thing. I wonder if the messages are to hand somewhere. Oh yeah, this is it here. This is the thread. Last year, in the infancy of my channel, I had a debate with a creator I'd admired, Keffals. She performed poorly and attempted to sacrifice my budding reputation to save face. With the consent and encouragement of a former editor, Cherry, I'd like to share these messages. So this is back from March 25th. What happened in the debate? It was a debate on the term they fab. I took the I don't really care if people use the term position, and you shouldn't tone police trans people using it when they're venting about prejudice. Karl Marx took the it is a transphobic slur and you are perpetuating transphobia position. So full disclosure, I didn't do great. We all have our debates we don't do well. I understand. But because I took down the VOD, I have control of the narrative. So I'm editing the intro to immediately poison the well. I am editing the intro to immediately poison the well, including putting the Zanderhall thing at the start. So again, although those are unproven claims, and I wouldn't just believe something that Demonmama would say without proof, Keffals has got a specific instance in the past where there's been an effort to modify the outcome or the look of a debate after Keffals perceived that they didn't do well in it. So I think this is a kind of like plausible claim that's being made. I could easily imagine Keffals getting in a conversation with someone and then recording it and then pushing for an editor to make it look bad on the part of the other person. Cherry reached out to me a few months after the debate, expressing feelings of guilt after witnessing Keffals abuse a position as a respected figure, an advocate, in order to mitigate the ramifications of a poor debate performance. Just a regular 3 a.m. convo. Oh, Karl Marx is from the UK, so I'm presuming this was probably like late evening US, I guess, but because these are from Cherry's perspective, right? So what are these? Yo, you want a fresh drama cycle for Zanderhall to take an easy win in? Update me. Also, I wrote my name. Okay, in the Excel sheet for 2 segments. I had a disaster debate with Karl Marx, and during the debate, it was revealed that this guy cheered on Zanderhall's financial downfall. So I took down the VOD so no one can watch it, meaning that the only copy will be my upload, and I'm putting the Zanderhall confrontation at the beginning, in the intro. This is like manipulating the news cycle, dude. This is what people say the fucking commentary community and drama people do. Like, go to another creator and like presenting stuff to them so they maybe cover it to make it favorable towards you. Isn't this fucking insane? This was made aware of. Karl Marx and I have interacted positively since that happened, but we never actually talked about it. But it always really fucking bugged me the way he engaged with us. Oh no, he's a fucking clout shark piece of shit. This is shameful. Imagine recognizing you had a bad debate and then trying to get your editor to change it to make you look better. Like, the debate should just exist as it is, and then people can make their own mind up as to who they think did better or worse. But it's like this desperate attempt. Oh my God, it fits in so perfectly with Keffals' whole thing. It's this desperate attempt to control the narrative of the situation, right? Which is constant with Keffals. Like the fucking the kind of news updates and stuff, the press releases, same thing. Same thing. How can I put something out that makes the press talk about me in a certain way? Crazy. Keffals, despite recognizing her shortcomings, proceeded to make an upload of the debate. I had both failed to record and she had deleted the VOD of, in which she poisoned the well in order to dress her position as appearing more correct, despite clearly knowing she was in the wrong. You leaked DMs. Cool, stop telling me. I'm sorry, I thought you wanted updates. I'll stop now. How does that help me? I thought you wanted to know what was being said so that you don't get caught off guard. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I shouldn't do that unprompted. I will only send you stuff you asked me to send or look for. Yeah, like, what's the point? If anything, we're all fucked. What do you mean? We're fucked, all of us. Do you need me to call? This is funny. This has been a fucking wild day. Sad. I'm praying Vosh does not react. I'm praying Vosh does not react to this. Fucking hell, man. That is crazy. Anyway, those are the main things. So yeah, I think Keffals has definitely got you got like stuff like the press releases where they're obviously trying to control the media narrative. You got stuff like this where they're demonstrating they're clearly willing to put their thumb on the scale and manipulate a debate. I think that, yeah, there's probably some truth to what's being said here, in my personal opinion. It'd be nice to see some hard evidence, you know? But yeah. Life hack. If you're having an online debate, always have a large clock visible behind you so the footage can't be deceptively edited without it being obvious. True. Okay, there's another clip here anyway. Look at this. Hey, just so tippy, are you watching, retard? So from what I can understand,
okay, that's wonderful.
I'm pretty sure
make money off depressed people.
Still, while they fell on the sword for Horseman and he hasn't said a thing about this.
Thank you for the €5. I'm pretty sure that Tippy is friends with both Demonmama and Keffals. So Tippy is just where he wants to be. Squeezed in between two trans women. Exactly where he wants to be. We'll get to the tipster leaks in a sec. That's a funny thing as well. Could you imagine, dude? Uh-oh. So Maeve, who's going to come up when we look at the tipster stuff, the capo of Keffals tried running damage control privately to Demonmama, and when asked for evidence, didn't provide any, and decided to lobby false allegations toward Cherry about the tipster pansexual stuff Lamau. You can't make this shit up.
By the way, just so that this is out there as a final conclusion on this, when I retweeted Staroxvia's thread, I was immediately blocked by Keffals. Since then, members of Keffals' current team have tried to reach out to me to correct the record, to which I received no response, by the way. This was as of a couple of days ago, someone claiming to be a member of Keffals' team who, from all that I can tell, appears to be a member of Keffals' team in Keffals' close circle, wanted to clarify things. This was a couple of days ago, and I asked, okay then, if you have hard evidence to the contrary, send it to me. I am not interested in getting lost in some kind of wiffle waffle bullshit. They never responded to.
So yeah, I can easily imagine, because that's all they've got, I think. I think all they've got is trying to talk to people and talk to them loads. Who would you say is your team? You for one, DK, obviously. But I don't know. I'd never, like, it's so weird to me. The idea that you would say to I'd say to DK, oh, can you message this person and just, have a chat with them and get, like, I don't know. I'm very much a believer in say your shit, let other people say their shit, respond if you want to, and leave it at that, This kind of like sending someone at your behest to go and communicate with someone that you're having a disagreement with or an issue with is crazy. I just couldn't imagine doing that. But obviously, that's all Keffals has got, right? The last thing Chud would want is me messaging someone on his behalf. I think that's true. Yes, indeed. Slur, 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 gok, whatever. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I think...
Okay, that's wonderful.
It's difficult
How do I
because...
make money off depressed people.
Boobs to the left of me, man boobs to the right, here I am.
Thank you, Tipsy, for the $3. I would only ever, believe something with evidence. So I'm not saying that, like, this definitely happened. But yeah, I can easily imagine someone reaching out and trying to do a bit of, Chud wants me to ask if you got your bottom surgery yet, or you're not planning to. Are you going to be contributing to the Gok genocide? Chud needs to know. So yeah, I don't know, man. I can definitely see some of this being the case. I can definitely see a bit of behind the scenes manipulation attempting to be happening.
They never responded to me. In fact, they went on to advance a false allegation against a member of Keffals, a former member of Keffals' team, which was pretty heinous. And instead of responding to me, they just did that. And I asked this person, why hasn't Keffals reached out to me? And I think we know the answer.
Oh.
But
uh-oh. No, Creamer, no. I've not talked about the Brazilian moped girl. Are you talking about the one that got Gok removal that you posted? No, I haven't. Because I'm so upset about it. I'm gutted. I'm mourning right now, okay? Why would you bring that up to me? I'm mourning. Anyway, I don't know if there's more to this. I'm not really that interested. There's so much stuff happening that I want to talk about. I didn't want to watch all of this, but
King Rainbow became a member. King Rainbow celebrates 9 months of membership. Demongic.
Okay, thank you very much for the membership. An angel lost its wings, exactly. So I don't know if there's anything else in Demonmama's segment about it, but and the thing is to bear in mind with this as well is like, I don't think that you should be celebrating someone finally realizing at the last possible moment what's been going on and talking about it, right? The point of this isn't to say, oh, well done to Demonmama, well done to whoever else is coming out. It's more so just hey, that's kind of interesting, Wait, what's this? Queeman knows. Demonmama cuts the segment short because she starts talking about the DIY HRT drama. Then Staroxphia joins chat spamming, stop, don't talk about this. Oh! Yo! What the fuck? What is going on there? Is there a recognition of, like, the disastrousness of the optics of it? Is that it? Maybe? Oh, fucking hell, man. If only I was a fly on the wall, eh? We need insiders. We need fucking insiders. That's why it's so good that Cherry actually came forward with this stuff, because they're such a close-knit community. There's no insiders. There's no one to leak stuff. You just don't know what's going on. 3:24:48, Demonmama's stream. Okay. I'll bring it up quickly. 3:24:48. Okay. Sorry, I didn't. 3:24:48.
My lovely, lovely imps. Today, drama has come. I know, unfortunate use of term, but whatever. That started to make me lose trust. Now, on the GoFundMe thing, I did not have hard evidence of where she went until fairly recently, all things considered. I had tidbits here and there, but it took me a long time to be able to put together a case that I was comfortable talking to you all about. And
by the way, another thing to bear in mind as well is, obviously, yeah, this stuff has been known for a while. But, like, I think within the trans community, the lefty trans community, I think there has been a complete and total shutdown on this. And I think there's been efforts to try and obscure and obfuscate the truth. So I think there's probably some people, not Demonmama necessarily, I wouldn't include Demonmama in this, but there's probably some people that are just retarded and they just believe what they've been told by the trans aristocracy, essentially, and don't question it further.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Holy shit, I just realized Demonmama is just LARPing as Boset. They literally look the same, haha, that's funny.
You know, you got someone there. Thank you very much for the 333 Anonymous. You've got someone there in Keffals who has gone up against the Big Bad Kiwi Farm site and is a very visible trans person. And I think just being told, don't worry about it, it's all fucking, you know, it's all lies. You know, Destiny's transphobic, the Manifesto's transphobic. All these other right-wingers that are coming, they're all transphobic. All the people on Kiwi Farms are transphobic. So I think there's been this big attempt to suppress this amongst the lefty community. Even as stuff started to come forward that, you know, should at the very least have started to raise kind of questions, like when they said they had a drug addiction, right? Like the fact when they filed their human rights complaint, which wasn't a lawsuit. You know, all these things should have been obvious signs to people that if they weren't convinced already. But it was probably suppressed and people were told to not listen and not believe it, you know? Like if you don't want to believe something anyway, but you start to get suspicious and someone comes along and goes, don't worry about it, it's all transphobia, you know, you could easily imagine that some of those people will probably just go, oh yeah, okay, fine, and leave it at that, you know? So whilst I wouldn't include people that are content creators and stuff like that necessarily in that, there's probably just some, you know, there's probably just some trans civilians that probably genuinely don't have a fucking clue of, you know, what the fuck is going on. And this was probably a surprise to them as they realized, oh shit, actually there is something in this, you know? I mean, look at the response, the knee-jerk reaction to call it transphobic. That's like, that's built in, that's programmed into their response.
And I think you guys can understand why I felt it was necessary to talk about you all with this. And also why I feel it's so stressful. And also why it's so frustrating that there's so many things. There are so many claims that have been levied against Keffals that do not have any evidence for them. Nothing. But it is so hard to filter through everything when you have someone who is willing to lie this much, who is willing to go this far, to deceive and to continue benefiting from other people, to put the wrench on other people. Now, no doubt, Keffals went up against some pretty heinous people, okay? But a lot of the people that we're talking about here, do you think Jack Saint deserved to have a plot to be privately recorded against his will and to have a plot built against him to deceptively edit the call to plan his cancellation? Do you think anybody deserved that? Do you think the people who were getting dirt gathered on them, on her now destroyed, thank goodness to whoever did that, now destroyed server? What makes me so sad about this situation is that basically everyone else, except for Keffals, has lost out because of Keffals' actions.
Okay, right, guys. Do as you wish, okay? I just don't personally see it as like a win, right? Even if you weren't convinced by, you know, information in the past that's come out about this, like, there's stuff that you could have seen over your own accord and come to the right conclusion, you know?
But how do I
Like, this is like the last possible stop on the Keffals disavowed train.
Mr. Dolphin celebrates 2 months of membership.
Thank you very much for the membership. This is like a Nazi disavowing Hitler as he put the fucking Luger barrel into his mouth. Okay, it's that level. That's the level that we're at with this.
This hurts genuine fundraising efforts. It hurts anyone who, out of the goodness of their heart, gave. It hurts anybody who
Thank
reasonably
you,
said, wow, some of the
Darcy.
shit that you're going through is bad. It hurts everyone's ability to sort out anything about this situation. It is a disaster, an unmitigated disaster, and the bulk of the damage is being absorbed by people who aren't Keffals. God, we could even talk about the DIY HRT stuff.
Oh,
I don't have a whole lot to say about that, but let's just say that Keffals has not done favors for the DIY HRT people out there who are putting their necks out to save people. A lot, and I mean a lot, of negative attention has been driven directly towards them as a result of Keffals' actions. Severe damage has been done to HRT networks that are essential. Reputational damage, notwithstanding, not just reputational damage.
I'm watching.
But financial and physical damage.
Oh, so Staroxvia being the person that did the entire thread, laying out all of the 100k stuff from the trans perspective so people would buy into it, is in chat saying, do not talk about the DIY HRT stuff. I do not consent to this info being said. Yeah, take those wins back, guys. Obviously, Demonmama is a DIY HRT advocate. I mean, this is the person who talks about making drugs in your bathtub. What was that thing? It was like, oh yeah, I think that, what was it? Comparative advice. What's it called? What's the thing called where you might make stuff with the global supply chain? It makes it cheaper and easier to make and more accessible. That thing. Demonmama spoke out against that and said, oh, actually, I think you can just get like local people to make drugs in an anarchist society. Yes, comparative advantage. Yeah. That she basically, Demo had an argument with someone on Twitter about comparative advantage, and the person was obviously saying, well, global supply chain makes drugs easier to manufacture and more accessible. How do you deal with that? And the response was bathtub insulin. And that was because that fucking moron Doe was talking about blowing up global supply chain stuff. Classic. Anyway, so of course, Demonmama supports all that fucking nonsense. Anyway, what's this?
That's too bad.
Oh,
that's terrible.
Oh no. The message is in. We need to talk about the bread man. Who's the bread man? Oh, the DMs. Oh, DMs. Uh-oh.
Her own team has suffered from all this. The people who defended her and did.
Oh my god. It's so obvious. It's so obvious what's happened there, right? It is message received, respond to a DM, say something about a DM, and then swiftly move past it. Yeah, I think some people in chat are pointing this out. The best guess that I've got is that they're trying to kind of obfuscate or draw attention away from it. I think they don't want lots of attention on that aspect of it, Ali, Resident Turf calls it again. It's so obvious what is happening, I'm sorry. Mental patients running the asylum, desperately trying to keep the masses unaware of what's actually going on, playing sane for the public. Yeah, my advice or recommendation with this stuff is to not give credit for doing the bare minimum and, cheer people on when clearly they still support some fucking insane, nefarious shit. It's just to say, hey, that's kind of interesting that there's a pushback within the community. And leave it at that, right? Don't necessarily feel you need to back anyone or you know, get behind anyone's perspective, because you probably would disagree with them about a whole bunch of stuff. Damn, that's crazy. Just whoosh, slipped away. Why can't you give them an ounce of credit? What credit is someone owed for at the last possible moment recognizing the obvious, which has been clear for a long time, right? Like, no, I'm not going to give credit to someone for at the last moment going, oh yeah, this person is really bad actually, when they spent a long time backing them up at every possible turn and opportunity. No. It's not, no, it's great. Well done. Good for you. But I'm not going to give you fucking credit. It's fucking insane, dude. Why? It's like the last stop of getting off the Keffals train. Especially not when people were smeared previously for pointing out what Keffals did. No, absolutely not. Crazy. Anyway, so there's more to that. I'm not going to sit and watch all of this. Too annoying. Too annoying. But it is there if you want to have a look at it. Yeah. So I guess, like I say, don't overthink or overstate in your head what's going to happen. You know, I genuinely do not think that you're going to see much significance. But here's the thing I'm thinking as well, right? How do you get GoFundMe to notice this? Is it enough that people who have been, you know, hard done by file a complaint? Or do people need to fucking start putting pressure on GoFundMe to give some answers? The truth of it is, these journalists that have run cover for this, they're the ones that really need to start issuing out statements and walkbacks. But it's unlikely that they're going to, because why would you? It's years later. You can just ignore it and it will go away. From your perspective, at least, you can just focus on whatever else it is you're focusing on. So yeah, I just think there needs to be some pressure somewhere, you know? And I think that comes from the press. You know, the press is, and I think that Mutahar has definitely, you know, lit something to get TYT to retract, to get the fucking Wikipedia to change. That's something, but it's very minimal. And I just think that most people, most journalists that have covered this are not going to pay attention to it. They're just going to disregard it and not come back to it and go, do you know what? We were wrong about this. So I think it's one of those things that something should happen. And if the world was just, something would happen. But it's not, unfortunately. And people are going to try and swerve and avoid responsibility or admitting they were wrong about this. But yeah, like I say, I wouldn't expect anything too dramatic. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, just you know, balance your expectations with reality. Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are coming forward and are like, "Oh no, yeah, Keffals is really bad," and it's like, weren't you like enormously supporting them up until now, including all this? And that's the other point too. They will speak out about the 100K because that primarily hurt trans people. So that they will say is bad because it hurt trans people. The Kiwi Farms thing, they won't speak out against. They'll still support because they think Kiwi Farms is bad. The DIY HRT stuff, they won't speak out against because they agree with it. So it is a very narrow agreement that you've got on this particular topic with some of these people. Just don't forget that, right? These people are not, you know, your allies. You probably would disagree. Well, you can ally with whoever you want, but you'll probably disagree with an absolute insane amount of, you know, stuff with them. Yeah, very selfish reasons, exactly. But yeah, very frustrating. But anyway, life goes on. Life goes on.